What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Ant Show, where we ask the real questions that's on everybody's mind. Like, why on TV do they black out the word nigga, but not the word cracker and wetback? Like, are black people, that sensitive to where, we can't have to racial slurs? Like, white people are not offended by no racial slurs whatsoever. But anyway, I'm Ant. And once again, I'm joined by M. Bowden. M. Bowden, how you doing, sir?
What's good, world?
And on this week's episode, we're going to talk about the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers, who that team was by far the most dysfunctional team in NBA history, and it's amazing that team even made it to the NBA Finals that year. So we're going to talk about that later on, but first I'm going to man up and admit that I'm wrong. As last week I predicted the Atlanta Hawks and the Houston Rockets will play each other in the NBA Finals, and Bowden being being a Georgia resident, as he knows, both the Hawks and the Rockets both embarrassed themselves, as neither team was really all that competitive, as the Cavaliers swept Atlanta, Golden State beat Houston in 5. So, Bowden, is there anything you want to say about your home team, the Atlanta Hawks?
Being straight up, I'm gonna say congratulations to them for making this far. They had a good season this year. Almost a perfect winning record. And they did good, and the young team, hopefully they'll come back next year and be able to take everything and get the championship. But they broke my heart. They broke my heart. And they, I'm gonna give them credit where credit due. They did good this year. They did good. But congratulations to Cavaliers for making it to the finals, and shouts out to the Golden State Warriors. Them boys play real good together. I like the way they play.
Yeah. So just to co-sign what Bowden said. Shouts out to the Golden State Warriors. Shouts out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the NBA Finals is set. The finals start next week, June 4th, a week from today. So it will be the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors taking on our man, J.R. Smith, and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm back, baby. I never left. I'm just in the new I'm bombing threes from every butch angle. It's me. I'm bombing threes from every butch angle. JR on your TV, relevant till June. So right, so right, so right. LeBron, have you heard of him? Playing with Kyrie Irving and them. It's all love in the corner. 2 pass, splash, top performer. Who the heck even know Black? Catch me at the Q straight truckin', best believe that. Call me the King's ransom, but still enigmatic, athletic, and handsome. Considered a liability. They told me I need a new scenery. Plush, Cuyahoga greenery. And finally, I've got something to believe in. Now that I'm in Cleveland, I'ma tell you what this means to me. The best player in the world is here to me.
We got Cleveland Cavaliers, which means I have the Cavaliers in the finals. We can play the song a lot more. So right. J.R. Smith, Cleveland Cavaliers theme song.
I'm sorry for Jackson.
I am for real.
I wanted to grow in your glorious garden, but I was lost in a triangle, and I had to go back. Too much mercy up in the club.
So now that the Cavs in the finals, we can play this song by Milford Jerome. Shouts out to him with the Cleveland Cavaliers theme song for us.
We clicked up with the K. Imagine JR with the ring. No need to miss me. I'm not gone. I'm just balling with LeBron. Something so right just can't be wrong. Everybody just needs a place where they belong. Oh, lost in a triangle, and I had to leave New York back. Too much Thursday up in the club. I ain't going out in Cleveland. Play a game and soak in the tub. Me and Shump, the New York boys, and now we Cavalier employed. We clicked up with the K. Imagine JR with the ring. No need to miss me. I'm not gone. I'm just balling with LeBron. Something so right just can't be wrong. Everybody just needs a place where they belong. Oh, I would cross Lake Erie. You're near to me. I would go across the lake with LeBron. Yeah, I'm so nice.
Across the lake with LeBron. Because Cleveland's going to the finals. So it'll be
Shout out to King James.
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. The Cleveland even got their own theme song.
That's all right.
My favorite part of that song too is talking about, I'm sorry, Phil Jackson, I am for real. So yes, it'll be Cavs and Warriors in the finals. We'll give our predictions next week. Like I said, the finals start next week. So I don't even know if I'm going to do it myself for the next 7 days because there's no basketball to watch. Even though there is hockey on over the weekend, so I guess I could watch that. But yeah, we're getting to the point of the year where it'll be kind of a depressing time because there'll be no sports going on. It'll just be nothing but baseball, which is always a sad time for me this time of the year.
Depressing, though.
Yeah.
You know, you got to thank God for hockey. Hockey's still out, ain't it?
Yeah, but hockey's almost over. No, their finals start next week as well.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about the finals next week. But for right now, I want to talk about this article that was written by Rick Bucher of Bleacher Report, which gave us an in-depth story of the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers, the quote-unquote NBA's first super team. And the 2004 Lakers, they kind of did with what the Miami Heat did a few years ago with LeBron and Chris Bosh teaming up with Dwayne Wade in Miami to win championships. So in 2004, you had an aging Karl Malone. You had an aging Gary Payton teaming up with Kobe and Shaq in L.A. to win the championship, even though it's kind of different because Kobe and Shaq at that time had already won 3 championships before they even got there. So Karl Malone at 39 years old, Gary Payton at 35, they just decided, since we're old and our time is running out, let's just go to L.A., win a championship, and just bounce and retire. Now, as we all know, and Bout, I'm pretty sure you remember this, 2004 is the year that Kobe got his rape charge. And that led to a bunch of drama for the 2004 Lakers. And how that team was even able to win and go to the finals is beyond me. Beyond me, how that team was even successful. I think 2004 had to be Phil Jackson's greatest coaching effort to get that team to play together. A team of players that hated each other, for them to get together and actually go that far, even though, as you all know, they got their ass whooped by Detroit in the finals. The Pistons beat the Lakers that year, which is considered the greatest upset in NBA history. But as I'm about to dive in here, as I'm about to dive into the story, it is not the greatest upset of NBA history, because knowing what we know now, we can see that ass whooping to Detroit coming from a mile away. So, Bow, you ready for the story of the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers?
Let's get it.
All right, so the Lakers, so we're going to start out with 2003. The Lakers won 3 championships in a row, 2000, 2001, and 2002. 2003, they were going for the 4-peat, but they lost in the second round to the San Antonio Spurs, who ended up winning the championship in 2003. So, the Lakers, they decided after losing to the San Antonio in the second round in 2003 that they had to get better. And for them to get better, they had to sign Hall of Famers Gary Payton and Karl Malone, who decided to take a significant pay cut just to play for a 1-year deal, 1-year contract for the Lakers to get them a championship so they can win. Now, Kobe Bryant kind of screwed all that up, because 2 weeks after the Lakers signed Gary Payton and Karl Malone to the contracts, Mr. Kobe Bryant was charged with rape after he was accused of raping a Colorado hotel employee, and he faced the possibility of life in prison if found guilty. So he spent the whole entire 2004 season flying back and forth from Colorado for court appearances. So the judge in Colorado didn't even want to wait for basketball season to be over. They had to try at the same time the basketball season was going on. So Kobe Bryant kept flying back and forth from LA to Colorado or wherever the hell the Lakers are playing at to make his court appearances. Also at the same time that was going on, Kobe Bryant's feud with Shaq their beef continued to get larger and larger, to the point where by 2002, they just flat out just hated each other. Like, it went from being a beef to they just don't like each other. And that Kobe was planning on becoming a free agent the following summer. While Shaq, he wanted a contract extension. Shaq felt like after everything that he's accomplished, he wanted the Lakers to pay him more money. And the Lakers didn't think Shaq was worth that much money. So now it was Shaq beefing with Kobe. He was also beefing with Lakers management. And then on top of all that, Phil Jackson was on the last year of his contract. So there's questions, will Phil Jackson even come back for 2005 or not? So that deeps into a oral history of the Los Angeles Lakers, the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers. And in this piece, Bowden, Rick Bucher interviewed Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and Phil Jackson, and even Lakers general manager Mitch Kupchak. They're all interviewed for this piece. Even Tayshaun Prince of the Detroit Pistons was interviewed. So you can get a first-hand account from pretty much every player that was on that Laker team, and even the team that beat the Lakers that year for the championship, the Detroit Pistons.
Yes! Yeah, that was a good game, man. Shouts out to Detroit, man. That was with my boy with the mask.
Rip Hamilton.
Right?
Rip Hamilton.
Yeah, man. He made a trademark with that mask, man. Him and Prince and
Chauncey Billups.
Ben Wallace, right? Ben Wallace?
Yeah, the Wallace brother. Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace. The one with the afro.
That's Ben Wallace.
Yeah. Man, man. Shouts out to Detroit. They don't want to play like that with the Bulls. You remember how the Bulls, that's the momentum the Bulls be having, but they just be losing it.
Yeah, but see, as a Sixer fan, I was kind of disappointed because Larry Brown was the coach of the Pistons that year, and I was hoping that he would what he did with Detroit. I was hoping he would have did that with Philly, but it just didn't happen.
Larry Brown, a good coach, man. He's a real good coach. Awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, him and Allen Iverson used to butt heads about Allen Iverson's practice habits. All right, so let's start things off, man. So let's start off with Shaq. This is what Shaq had to say. So Shaq said, a lot of people ask me what was my part in attracting Gary Payton and Karl Malone to the Lakers. And my answer is, I did it. So, a lot of people feel like, Shaq was the one that talked Karl Malone to leaving Utah and talked Gary Payton into leaving, I think, Milwaukee at the time. I think Seattle had traded him to Milwaukee. So, Gary Payton left Milwaukee and decided to come to the Lakers. So, Shaq's the one that got him together. So, hey, come to LA. I win y'all a championship. Now, Mitch Kupchak, the Lakers general manager, he said it was really, this is what he had to say. He said it was really unrealistic to think that we can get both Gary and Karl because we were over the cap.
Salary cap.
Yeah. But, Gary's represented by Aaron Goodwin, and Karl was represented by Dwight Manley. But I remember getting a call from Dwight Manley a couple of days to talk to Karl, and he said something like, well, what if we can just figure out a way to get both? Because I told him that we needed help in the backcourt. At the time, there were two exceptions, the mid-level and the biannual. One was a 5-point-something million, and the other was, 1 point something a year. So Dwight basically said after going back and forth with Karl, that Karl would take a 2-year biannual exception. That would free up enough money for Gary Payton. So I called Aaron back and said, well, what do you think if we can get both Gary and Karl? He thought it was great. Dr. Buss, the Lakers owner, who's now dead, he passed away about 3 years ago. Dr. Buss said he would love to have both players. We just never thought LA was the kind of place for Karl Malone because, Karl Malone, he's a country boy. So, they ain't thinking that LA would be a good fit for Karl Malone, but Karl Malone wanted to come to LA. And that he said that we always heard that Gary wanted to be here. Now back to Shaq. Shaq said, I was on the phone with those guys once or twice a week. Gary was a little bit easier job because he was ready to get out of Seattle. Karl Malone was a little tougher, but I eventually got it done. Now John Black, who's the Lakers' PR director, this is what he had to say. He said we got a suite in a hotel in Westwood, that's in L.A. The marquees, the night we signed them, that was part of my responsibility, getting the hotel room and making sure there was a fax machine in it. Gary was in town with his agent. Karl was out of town. The timing and the itinerary of the thing was important. We had to fax to Karl. We had to fax the contract to Karl and get it signed. Then fax that to the league and get it approved. Then do the same thing with Gary. He and his agent were going to come around 9:01. It was all sort of choreographed up until it actually happens. Up until then, we had the oral agreements with the agents and players, but it actually happens. Then things could fall through, and Mitch was a nervous wreck. It was quite a coup, but we felt we had a good chance to win the championship. Now, Tayshaun Prince, who played for the Detroit Pistons at the time, he still plays for the Detroit Pistons now. I think he's the only one left in that Detroit Pistons championship team that's still playing in the NBA. But Tayshaun Prince said, when it happened, my first reaction was pretty much handing them the title right now. obviously we didn't know at that point how good we could be. We didn't have Rasheed yet. Talking about Rasheed Wallace, but we didn't make the trades to make us a better team. So at that point, we definitely felt like they were the front runners. So Tayshaun Prince, when he heard that Gary Payton and Karl Malone going to L.A., Tayshaun Prince decided, like, look, you might as well just hand the Lakers a championship right now. Because ain't no way nobody's going to be able to compete with them. Now, so going back to that moment, it's been 11 years now. When I first heard about Karl Malone and Gary Payton going to the Lakers, I thought the same thing as Tayshaun Prince. I remember I was in high school, and I was like, damn, the Lakers, the rich just keep getting richer. The Lakers already won like 3 championships in a row. Now you're giving them Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Shit, you might as well just hand the championship.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking to myself. I said, ain't no way in the world these are going to be beat. Because, I mean, you got Karl Malone, you know what I'm saying? He's a big man, power forward. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then you got Gary Payton. He's a point guard. And
Kobe's a shooting guard. Shaq is a center.
You got Shaq. Rick Fox was still on that team, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a small forward.
Man, it just crazy. Then you had the 3-point specialist.
Derek Fisher.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean... Oh, man. Matter of fact, when that same game he hit that last one, 3, that was with the Sixers.
Oh, no. That was the same year. It was the same year, and that's against the Spurs. Yeah, when he hit it in 0.4 seconds.
And he hit, I think it was from the half court, or it was from the 3.
It was from the 3. It was from the 3, but there was less than a second left to go in the game. So he just jacked the ball up, and it just went in. Swish.
Yep. Man, that was basketball. I mean, basketball back then, guys, was exciting. From the era, Shaq era, it was exciting. I mean, that was basketball. That was basketball, man. I mean, Michael Jordan era was exciting too. But what we talking about, I'm just gonna hush and let my go when you talking about it, because that was some basketball. I was a diehard basketball fan then. I used to watch it. It was exciting. It's exciting now, but like they play, like you said, they play from the outside in instead from the inside out.
Yeah, the 3-point game has dominated basketball now.
Yeah.
All right, so now Jeannie Buss, who was the daughter of Dr. Buss, the owner, who was the owner of the Lakers, like I said, he passed away a few years ago, and now it's the brother Jim Buss, who's now owning the Lakers. But Jeannie Buss is the daughter of Jim Buss, and actually, by the way, she's also the girlfriend of Phil Jackson. And so Jeannie Buss had this to say. She said it was rebooting of the team and an interesting layer to interest fans. And using our marketing, it was very exciting. Mark Heisler, they don't really say what his title was. Mark Heisler, I'm assuming he works for the Lakers, but he said, I remember we had a meeting at the Times. Okay, so Mike Heisler, he's a writer for the LA Times. So he says, I remember having a meeting at the Times a week before training camp, and people from every department of the paper, at least 30 people around this big conference table, to talk about how we were going to cover every aspect of the team. And I was thinking, this is going to be the worst thing I've ever been involved in. Rick Fox, who was part of that Lakers team, he said, Rick Fox said, I was returning from a torn ligament in my foot. I did everything I could to make it to training camp. It was unrealistic for me to think I could participate, but I'll be damned. I tried. I wanted to be in that starting lineup at the fifth Beatle, as a fifth Beatle. Excuse me. So Rick Fox was at the Lakers as the Beatles. Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, they were the Beatles. And Rick Fox wanted to be the fifth member of the Beatles. And so Rick Fox said I was willing to risk re-injuring myself to make sure I was part of what we all thought was going to be one of the greatest teams in NBA history. All right, then Devin George, who was a backup for the Lakers back then, he said it was crazy, man, because I obviously grew up watching those guys. That's how you know Gary Payton and Karl Malone are old. We talking about I grew up watching them, and then now you're playing with them. So he says I grew up watching those guys, but to really be able to play with them and learn from them, it was unbelievable. It didn't seem like there was a day any jail. There was no any jail time. Day one, they just jumped right in as if they've been playing on the team for 10 years. They jumped right in with the jokes, jumped right in with the pranks all from day one. Luke Walton, who's also on that Lakers team, he's also the son of Hall of Fame player Bill Walton. But Luke Walton, who was a rookie on that team, to be honest with you, he was a rookie that year. And he said training camp back then, the vets didn't have to be there until 4 or 5 days later. So the first couple of days, it was just us young guys and Phil. He's talking about Phil Jackson, the coach. Then the vets showed up, and we had a team dinner. It was Shaq and Carl and Kobe and GP, Gary Payton, and they tell me as a group, because of my father, they had a bidding war on the flight over to decide whose rookie I was going to be. I was pretty much, make my life a living hell. So Karl Malone paid $15,000 to make me his personal rookie of the year, which means Karl Malone paid $15,000 to make Luke Walton his bitch, and Luke Walton pretty much had to do whatever Karl Malone told him to do. So we go to cities like Milwaukee. I remember Milwaukee specifically because it was snowing outside, and Carl was like, I need a pair of headphones. So I called all around and nobody had them. I was like, Carl, all I could find is these $20 headphones in the store across the street. Karl Malone was like, well, if you think I'm a $20 player, and if you think that's all I'm worth, then go get those. And I was like, no, seriously, Carl. If I get these ones, and he's like, no, do what you want. You make the call. So I take this 30-minute taxi ride to the suburbs in the snow to get Karl Malone a $100 pair of headphones. And on the next day, we're getting off the plane, and I see them just sitting in his chair. He's already off the plane, so he went and set me to get more headphones. So, Karl Malone just playing my games with Luke Walton, who was the rookie on the team, and told Luke Walton to buy some headphones. So Luke Walton buys him some $20 headphones, talking about, oh, you think I'm just a $20 player? You think that's all I'm worth, just $20? And Luke Walton, buys him a $100 pair of headphones, and Karl Malone tells him to go buy some more headphones. Just making this rookie spend all his goddamn money on Karl Malone. So Rick Fox says, even from the flight over from LA to Hawaii, there was an introduction to everyone's ego and personality and expectations for the season. Everyone's individual swagger and agenda. Here you have guys who are not superstars but have 3 rings. I wasn't a superstar. Derek Fisher wasn't a superstar. But in LA, we were superstars. We were 3-time NBA champions. But here comes Gary Payton and Karl Malone, who are Hall of Famers. And how do you walk onto the plane as a Hall of Famer without a ring? How do you walk into a plane as a 3-time NBA champion and not see yourself as equals? It's a team sport, not an individual sport. And yet individual success carries a lot of weight. So what'd you feel about what Rick Fox had to say, though? So Rick Fox was saying that pretty much that, okay, yeah, Karl Malone and Gary Payton are legends, but
they ain't got no rings.
Yeah, but they ain't got no rings. But we got 3 of them. So like, how the hell you gonna tell me what to do when I got 3 rings? How many rings you got? You ain't got shit.
No, it's not about a ring, man. It's about loyalty, honor, humble yourself to the one that made the game what it is.
Yeah, but see, Rick Fox is talking about the ego of the team. Everybody on that Laker team had 3 championship rings. Yeah, so here comes Gary Payton and Karl Malone, who they're legends, and so because they're legends, everybody's treating them like they're Jesus, like they can walk on water and they can't do no wrong. And Rick Fox is saying like, look, we got 3 championship rings. You come here, you come to our team to get what we already got. So who the hell are you?
Yeah.
To act like you Jesus. No, when you ain't won nothing yet.
Yeah. But was it just an interview you said was in or did he tell them that?
Oh no, this is just the interviews. They're telling the story of that year, that 2004 Laker team.
Everybody came together.
Yeah. So they're talking about in training camp how that's how they felt. Where like all the players on the team felt like, look, yeah, we might not be Hall of Famers, we might not be superstars, but in LA, this is our town. In LA, people love us. We brought 3 championships to the city, and now you guys are coming to the team acting like you Jesus, and you guys ain't won nothing yet.
But the thing is, now that I think about it, the thing is, like you said, our egos had to be set aside, and you had to realize we come together to win championships. Once you have that understanding, then y'all can play as a unit, and they did their thing. But go ahead with the story, though. I don't want to keep cutting you off.
That's cool. All right, so this is Gary Payton's point of view. So Gary Payton said, Carl and I had taken a pay cut to play with these guys. We weren't into that anymore. I was into, going somewhere and winning multiple championships. What Gary Payton means by I wasn't into that anymore, where pretty much he took a pay cut. Even though Gary Payton knows he's worth more than $1 million a year, he just signed a $1 million contract because, as he's saying, at that point in his career, he can care less about the money. All thing he cared about was winning the championship. So John Black, who's the Lakers' PR director, he said that I remember the Beatles cover of the famous album Abbey Road, and we wanted to do a version of that with these 4 players for the cover of our media guide. Maybe make a poster of it. Before I even discussed it with Gary and Carl, Shaq shot it down. Shaq said, it wasn't even, let me think about it. Shaq said, fuck no, I'm not doing that. So we ended up doing a photo shoot of them together, and it was probably a 1-minute photo shoot, and made a poster of it, but it wasn't the Abbey Road cover idea. Shaq was just in a nasty mood. There was some discomfort going on at that time. Yeah, so Shaq kept it real. Shaq was like, no, I ain't doing that. So Gary Payton went to Hawaii. So this is Gary Payton. Gary Payton said, so we went to Hawaii for training camp. Phil took us paintballing. We were having fun. But then we started getting all this stuff in the media, and everybody started, going their separate ways. And that's when it started not being fun. We started off the season 18-3, and then all of a sudden Carl got hurt. He was controlling our offense. He was running that triangle, making us more comfortable, especially myself. Carl had never been hurt in his career, so it was a devastating injury that he couldn't deal with. And he never missed a game in his life. That's how you're getting old, man, when you start missing games, when you normally don't miss games. So then Luke Walton said that Carl was a good teammate. He said Carl was as good of a teammate I've ever had. He was funny. He was hardworking. He was all about what was best for the team. He just had a great personality, offering advice to the young guys, hanging out with all the different groups of older guys. He was just awesome. And then when he got hurt, not having him out there being the anchor, you just noticed something left the team. So, just to give you exactly how important Karl Malone was to the 2004 Lakers, before Karl Malone got hurt, the Lakers were 19-5. And then when Karl Malone hurt his knee, he missed 39 games. In those 39 games, the Lakers were just 22-17 without him. And then when he came back, the Lakers went 14-4. So they struggled without him, but they were great with him. So back to Rick Fox. Rick Fox says, we got off to such an incredible start. Everything everyone expected us to be, we appeared to be that. Then Carl went down, and then there were challenges of what we were doing to be as we increasingly reached moments of debate on how we should play. And then Kobe's trial dominated our weekly conversation amongst the team and the newspaper and the media. So all of a sudden, Kobe's rape charge became a distraction for the team. And I remember that too as well, because I thought Kobe's going to get locked up for real. For real.
quote Martin Luther King and everything. you remember that? He would quote Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember that. I was in high school at the time, so I was like, man, I remember talking about with my homeboys in high school. I'm like, man, Kobe about to get locked up for this, man. They about to lock his ass up and throw away the key.
Yeah. It was bad for Kobe. You know, Kobe got through that, but, you know, you think about it, you're like, man, you know, he had a beautiful wife, you know.
Had a beautiful daughter.
He gonna mess around with what she was like a waitress or a hotel clerk or something?
She was, I can't think of the name right now. You know the people when you order the home room service. She was the room service woman.
Room service. It kind of make you wonder. I mean, because you know, it make you wonder because if it was consensual, I mean, make you wonder sometimes. Make you wonder because it's like, okay, I got in trouble, but Shaq get in trouble too. You know what I'm saying? Shaq did it too. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to get ahead of myself. You go ahead and tell the story.
All right, so back to Mark Heisler, who works for the L.A. Times, the newspaper. So he says, excuse me, he said there was one game where Kobe had just flown back from Aspen, and he had this incredible game. He was so exhausted. Oh, excuse me. All right, so yeah, Kobe, he was so exhausted. They were giving him fluids at halftime. This harrowing experience pulled them together. And there was this warm-up, and everyone thought, and I remember asking Kobe at the time, are you going to opt out? Meaning, are you going to opt out of your contract and become a free agent? Kobe responded, I don't know. All of a sudden, he's thinking about staying the Laker. Because after the 2003 season, Kobe was talking about leaving the Lakers. But now, all of a sudden, 2004, he's talking about, he's thinking about, he wants to stay with the Lakers. Now, here's Kobe Bryant. This is what Kobe Bryant had to say. Kobe Bryant said, I lost a lot of weight. And on top of that, I had knee surgery and shoulder surgery. It was crazy that I was able to play at that level. Anywhere near that level. You can't compare the stress of the child to anything else. One is life, real life. The other is a game. Can't compare them. Basketball for me was refuge, my sanctuary. Here's Derek Fisher, who's the coach of the New York Knicks, and he's also part of that Lakers team in 2004. So Derek Fisher said, man, that's always been hard for me to elaborate on because how much respect I have for Kobe. Never having played with Michael Jordan on the same team, I just remember vividly having confirmation during that year that Kobe is one of the best, and arguably, depending on who's in the conversation, will be regarded as the best player to ever play at the time. I had only observed one other basketball player on earth that could have possibly managed all that came with being in that situation and still gone out and performed on the levels that he was performing on. So pretty much what Derek Fisher's talking about how, despite the fact that Kobe had the whole rape situation clouding over his head, how he was still able to come out that year and still perform at a high level was just amazing to Derek Fisher. Now, Kareem Rush, I don't even remember Kareem Rush, but he was a backup on that team. Excuse me. I was kind of Kobe's underling as his backup, and I always had to pretend to play in case that he wasn't there. We knew what he was going to bring to the table if he was there. No matter when he got there, I've never seen anything like it. Back to Luke Walton. Luke Walton said what was incredible about him is that there were nights he'll fly back from Colorado and Kareem Rush will be in the starting lineup and literally would get announced and Kobe will come straight from the airport, change, and before the announcement ended and the jump ball started, he'll be out there, no warm-up, and just come out and score 42 points and be the most focused like he didn't have anything else going on. I'm sure from a coaching perspective, it was a little distracting because he didn't practice. You were wondering Is he playing? Is he not playing? It wasn't a distraction to me, but again, I was just a little peon. Back to Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher said, "No, we were all kind of, had our own thing. I had floating in the back of my mind, not starting anymore. It being an option year as far as my contract. Shaq was having his contract thoughts. Phil was trying to decide if he may or may not come back next year. You can see all the thought bubbles floating around our space when we, moved around. That's actually what makes it almost remarkable and incomprehensible that the team still made it to the finals that year." So about it, man. So what Derek Fisher's pretty much talking about is that, in 2004, here's a team that, won all these damn championships, and all of a sudden by 2004, everybody had their own thing going on. Shaq was worried about money. Kobe had his rape trial going on. Phil Jackson, couldn't decide if he wanted to put up with this shit anymore. Derek Fisher was pissed off that, he lost a starting job because he was a starting point guard. All of a sudden, Gary Payton comes to the team, and now Derek Fisher's forced to be a backup, and he's not really happy about being a backup. So now Derek Fisher's thinking about, should I even come back next year or not? So you had all this drama going on, and yet this team was still able to win games. I don't understand it. I mean, how this team even won, it's just amazing to me. All right, so back to John Black, the PR director. John Black said it was a preseason game in Hawaii. They were playing a preseason game in Hawaii. Shaq had just blocked a shot. And Dr. Buss, who's the owner, was sitting courtside. After he blocked the shot, Shaq screamed to the owner, "You gonna pay me now?" It was disrespectful. We had a lot of inquiries, people wanting to know what was our comment. What was Dr. Buss's comment to him doing that? Dr. Buss said publicly it didn't bother him at all. We declined to comment as an organization and tried to downplay it as much as possible, but it did bother Dr. Buss, and he admitted that it did for years later, but at no time that's how he handled it. So, about what's your thoughts on Shaq disrespecting the owner, yelling at the owner, "You gonna pay me? You gonna pay me now?"
Shaq just being just being Shaq. The owner probably swept it on the rope. Some people take things personal, some let things well off their shoulder. But no harm, no foul. Everybody happy. Everybody got paid. I believe Shaq had got his You remember Shaq had that Superman bike there? Do you remember that? Low ride.
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, I wonder if he ever rode it or he just got it for show.
Well, back to Shaq's money issues though, because remember, the following year in 2005, that's when he got traded to Miami. So it makes you wonder, him, yelling at the owner, when you gonna pay me? That might have something to do with them trading him. It's a 50-50 because so much was going on that year. Kobe trying to throw Shaq under the bus. And, Well, I mean, according to Derek Fisher, they all had the issues. Derek Fisher was pissed off that he's no longer the starter because Gary Payton came to the team. You had, Kobe with his drama. Shaq, all of a sudden, instead of worried about, winning games, Shaq's now worried about money. He wants to get paid more money. So he had all, and then back to Derek Fisher, he was worried that, he was a free agent. So he was thinking that, okay, since I'm no longer the starter, I'm out. I'm not coming back next year. So he had all this drama going on around that team all at one time. And then Phil Jackson, he seemed to have enough of it. He's like, I'm out. I can't put up with this shit no more. So it's like everybody had their own thing going on, and nobody was really focused on basketball. Everybody on that team was focused about everything else but basketball.
But they still managed to win a championship.
Yeah. So this is what Shaq. So back to Shaq. Shaq said, a lot of people think the great Jerry Buss and I had disagreements. There were never personal disagreements, you know. Me being a businessman, I understand business. At the time, I was making a high dollar. And, you know, it was kind of, mentioned to me that, mentioned to my people that, you know, you're on your way down. We want you to take less money. But in my mind and in my heart, I still had, one or two more championships in me. I didn't want to accept less money. It's always easy for people to tell you to take a pay cut because it ain't your money. All right, back to Mark Hasler, the writer from the LA Times. He said there was a preseason game against the Clippers in Anaheim. There were reporters that, Agent Bob Pelinka was telling the Clippers, save your cap space. Supposedly there was a plan for Coach Mike Dunleavy, who was coach of the Clippers at the time, to go into a room before the game and Kobe would come in through another door so they could talk. Mike decided not to do it because he thought, he would get in trouble. But during the game, Kobe apparently inbounded the ball in front of the bench and said something like, get me over here. Kobe starts at that point seeing that he was going to leave. So not only did you have all that drama between Shaq and the owner, but now you got Kobe talking about he wanted to go to the Clippers. So everybody trying to leave LA. Well, Kobe trying to stay in LA, but go play for the other team in LA, the Clippers. All right, back to.
I wonder how that would have went.
Maybe the Clippers would have won maybe a championship or two.
Yeah.
Even though this is still good, 5 or 6 years before Blake Griffin came around.
Blake Griffin do good. He do good. He do pretty good. He just needed swing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, imagine Blake Griffin with Kobe on his team.
Yeah. Probably been they probably would have clashed. But if Blake Griffin was one of them kind of guys, he probably seemed like he humble. He probably would just do it Kobe way. Pass the ball.
Yeah, just let Kobe have his way.
Yeah, you gotta work. No, you gotta work. I'm just jabbing, man.
All right, so back to John Black, who was the PR director of the Lakers. And John Black said most of the problem was Shaq and Kobe didn't like each other. But it didn't affect them on the court. So they would say something about the other on and off the record. But it didn't become confrontational more than 2 or 3 times over the 8 years they played together. When Kobe gave the statement to Jim Gray, where he went off calling Shaq fat and lazy, that was one of the times. There was one really bad one early on, and Brian Shaw had to pull him apart because Shaq threatened to murder Kobe. He didn't threaten to whip his ass. He just threatened to murder. He said he was going to kill Kobe. Because he didn't like the fact that Kobe went on TV and called Shaq fat and lazy. And so Shaq responded by he's going to murder Kobe. And it was Brian Shaw, the Lakers' backup point guard, that had to pull him apart and pretty much save Kobe's life, depending on how you look at it. So back to Mark Hasler, who's the writer for the Los Angeles Times. He said there was this exchange in the papers between Shaq and Kobe right before the season even started. One of the greatest exchanges I've ever covered. Shaq zinged Kobe, and then Kobe zinged Shaq. It came to a head the last practice before the regular season, and they sent them both home. So Phil Jackson sent both Shaq and Kobe home after they got into that practice. And I think it was Carl who said, "This is over now, trust me." That afternoon, Kobe loaded up Jim Gray with all this stuff about Shaq coming to camp, being fat and out of shape, and how Shaq was a bad leader. And that's how the season started. Gary Payton, he says, "I don't think they communicated in the right way. They should have talked more. But it got to the point where we were in the papers, and all of a sudden the newspaper said this, then Kobe said that, and then Shaq's reading these things, and then you have to retaliate. That's not the best way to do it." Luke Walton said earlier in my career, Kobe was still the incredible, hardworking, natural leader on the floor, but there wasn't much as far as leadership and bringing guys with you. Kobe was kind of like, look, I'm here, I'm first, I'm working harder than anyone, and I'm obviously more talented than everybody, and I'm going to go and give you everything that I have in every game I play. So naturally, he's a leader, and you respect that. Where with Shaq, you come in, and he's making jokes every single day. He's telling guys he's got your back, and if somebody's fouling you, he tells you to run them in the next time. He'll lay them out for you. And so Shaq's the kind of guy, Kobe's the kind of guy, lead by example. Like, look, follow me, do what I'm doing, and I got your back. And I'll take you there. I'm good, and just pass me the ball. I'll make all the points. I'll score. I'll do everything, and you guys just come for the ride. Shaq was more of I got your back. If somebody fucks with you, then I'll knock them out. That was Shaq's way of being a leader.
Kobe was like the brain, Shaq was the muscle.
Yeah. But the thing was, Kobe was serious all the time. While Shaq, he can change it up and make jokes and play around and stuff like that. All right, so Rick Fox, Shaq's injuries came into play. I can remember a time during that season where Karl was out, Shaq was out, then just Gary and Kobe. And then Shaq would come back and Kobe would go out, and we just kept waiting for Karl to return, and we couldn't get him right. We just kept breaking down in every category, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. As Phil will tell you, we just weren't living up to what we thought. We thought we were going to be a 73-9 season. So they thought they were going to win 73 games that year, and it just didn't happen. So Derek Fisher said, I really struggled the first half of the year, reconciling not starting anymore. So Derek Fisher's really pissed off that he wasn't the starter anymore. And then Kareem Rush was on our roster, and he was a young guard that was developing, and the team wanted to give him more minutes, a chance to see if he could develop a little bit more. So my role had really been condensed big time, and it impacted my play. It took half of the year before I could just let it go. I couldn't play with that frustration and anger on the court. So, what's your thoughts on Derek Fisher? Derek Fisher pretty much said that he was pissed off, that he's no longer the starter. They brought in Gary Payton, so he's not the starter anymore. Then they bring in this young cat, Kareem Rush, who is this young up-and-coming player, who they're pretty much training to take over from Derek Fisher. And Derek Fisher said, look, it took me half the year to get over the fact that they're bringing all these people in to take my job. So what was your thoughts on Derek Fisher?
My thought would be, they win for losing. They win for losing.
But so I think that goes back to Rick Fox's point, though. Rick Fox talks about how the ego of the team at that time was like, look, we might not be Hall of Famers, we might not be superstars, but we did help this team win 3 championships. And now you guys coming in trying to take our jobs, and y'all ain't even won shit yet. Yeah, so here's Gary Payton. Gary Payton said I was getting frustrated with Phil when Phil made decisions. When plays weren't coming to me. I should have stepped up even more than I did. I should have taken over more games and did what I wanted to do. Play the pick and roll, shot the ball more. I was just trying to fit in instead of being Gary Payton. I let Phil down because he wasn't supposed to mentor me or control me or coach me. I should have just gone out there and be who I was, because I never let any coach like that do that to me ever. So Gary Payton, instead of just being himself, Gary Payton was just trying to fit in and just try to be like everybody else. And he says his biggest regret now, looking back at it 11 years later, that instead of him trying to just fit in, he should just been himself, be Gary Payton, and play basketball the way he did when he was in Seattle. And he did not do that with the Lakers. Now for Rick Fox said though, but there's also in conflict with that, with what the triangle system was. No, you don't step into it discussing and deferring. No, you step into it and you play. If at any point you feel you're not being aggressive enough, you're probably being too aggressive. It was hard for Carl or Gary to get that in 1 month of training camp. But everybody was so afraid of us. Everyone just laid down for us, the first 20 games. People just didn't think they could beat us. So when teams got away from the fear of, oh, this is a freaking all-star team, they started challenging us. The cracks and flaws started to show up, and we didn't have the experience and the know-how to fall back into our system. And guys started to go individually one-on-one. Derek Fisher, he said, we weren't a team. We're a collection of very accomplished, high-achieving individuals. Even though we had a really good core and nucleus of guys who had been there a few years already, we weren't a team. So Rick Fox said, we got exposed. I knew we'd get exposed. I hope, we will pull it off. Who doesn't want to win a fourth championship? I remember back in January or December watching the Detroit Pistons and having the most up respect for them in the regular season. They held like 6 or 7 teams in a row to under 70 points. And I was listening to our team in person. I felt we didn't have enough respect for the Pistons. We thought we were just going to go in there and steamroll them. And that's how, we as a group behind the scenes were talking about it. So that explains why they got the ass whooped, because they didn't respect the Pistons. And the Pistons ended up whooping that ass that year.
Yeah. And the Pistons, they was a pretty small team. The biggest thing on the team was Ben Wallace, But they played good together, though. They played real good together. They played good together. They were fast, quick, sharp,
Yeah, but also makes you wonder too. Now, reading this is that it makes you wonder how that 2004 championship would have gone differently had the Lakers respected them, and the Lakers actually went at it, full strength. Well, I won't say full strength, but because they didn't respect them, they thought, just Detroit Pistons. We can just whoop their ass like we did with the Sixers a couple years ago. This is gonna be a piece of cake, and it wasn't like that. So if they would have respected Detroit and given the full effort, how things would have been different. Instead, they didn't give their full effort because they thought Detroit was just some crappy team that they could just easily steamroll, and they never respected Detroit. And so because of that, they took Detroit for granted, Detroit ended up whooping their ass. So here's Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was the coach of the Lakers at that time. He's now the team president of the New York Knicks. But Phil Jackson said, I was sitting down with the players and I said, you just don't understand this. You don't have a chance in hell against Detroit. All the emotional momentum is for Detroit, the comeback team, the underdogs. They had the shot block at the end of the Indiana game where Tayshaun Prince blocked Reggie Miller's shot and saved the ball game. They won a 7-game series, so it's going to be a huge emotional thing. And of course, Malone couldn't play, and Horace Grant couldn't play. Both of my power forwards. Fox was on the team, but he hadn't totally recovered from his injury. So we felt like we were going into the series on the downside. It was going to be a series on the climb. So that's funny to hear Phil Jackson say that about him because Rick Fox and the players, they're saying like, look, man, we didn't respect Detroit. We thought we were just going to come in there and just whoop Detroit's ass. Like Detroit didn't have a chance against us. And Phil Jackson said that he knew from the beginning his team didn't have a chance in hell against Detroit because he felt like his team just didn't have the emotional momentum that the Pistons had when they came back and beat Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's kind of like Phil Jackson with the daddy. He's like, I knew we were going to lose all along because these guys just ain't got it. They don't understand how good Detroit is. All right, so Tayshaun Prince said, right before game one, they threw something for me at my high school. For those of you who don't know, Tayshaun Prince is a L.A. He's born and raised in L.A. So that year when the Pistons played the Lakers, he was actually coming home to L.A. So that's why they had something for him at his high school. So Tayshaun Prince said, while I was speaking to the kids, one of the first questions they had was, how you feel about how you going to feel when you lose? Because all the kids at his high school, they were Laker fans. So they asked him, how do you feel when you're going to lose? So Tayshaun Prince said, I'm in Compton. Everybody in LA is a big Lakers fan. And as much as they were appreciating me for what I did coming from Compton and accomplishing everything that I accomplished, the first question out their mouth was, how you going to feel when you lose? How you going to feel when the Lakers going to whoop your ass?
Welcome to Compton, huh? Oh, welcome back home.
Welcome back home, Tayshaun. We love you. But, Lakers going to whoop your ass. I'm just saying to let you know right now.
Idiot what it is, right? Just imagine, you was in his shoes and they asked you that question. You couldn't help but laugh. I know everybody's laughing. We'll see on. That's the first thing I do. We'll see when we get on the court.
Yes, also I'll laugh, and at the same time I buy them all front row tickets just so they can watch me stick it to their team.
Yeah. Man, 2004. Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, same here. All right, so Tayshaun Prince, I'll never forget this. A couple of our stars were in with Joe Dumars. That was the general manager, and for all you basketball stories, he was part of the Detroit Pistons team with Isaiah Thomas back in the 80s. He was the general manager of the Pistons back in 2004. So Joe Dumars in the office, and he said we had Isaiah Thomas on the conference call. So actually, Isaiah Thomas actually gave them some advice before they played the Lakers. And so Isaiah Thomas said, we're about to shock the world, and nobody knows it but us. Everybody thinks we're going to get swept, and it's a possibility that they're going to get swept. This was 2 or 3 days before the series even started. He was like, once we win game one, people will realize we're here to win it, not just be a part of it. So Isaiah Thomas is saying, look, man, we're about to win game one, and people about to respect us. All right, Chauncey Billups, who was the Detroit Pistons point guard, and he was also the MVP of the finals that year. This is what he had to say. So Chauncey Billups said, man, I was very, very confident even before we started game one of that series. In our 2 meetings against them during the season, we had our way with them. We did. With the team we had, not the personnel, we were tough to contend with. I actually thought we had a tougher time against Minnesota than we would have against the Lakers because of 2 things. Our most potent offensive players, there was no way they could stop us. There was no way they could stop me in the pick and roll because I was just going to bring Shaq out on the perimeter and wear him down. If he didn't step out, I'll have an open jump shot all series. And 2, talk about Rip Hamilton. Rip and I was going to run Rip all over the place. Every play that I called, it was going to him, coming off of Shaq's side. So back to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant said, honestly, Detroit played extremely well. They're a well-oiled machine, man, on both sides of the floor. They were sharp as shit. Extremely sharp, extremely crisp, extremely methodical, and it was well-deserved. All those factors contributed to them winning the way they did. If you go back and look at the finals when we played Larry Brown's 76ers team, the reason why they went the way it did was because we were so locked in and so focused and so well prepared. We knew each other's moves inside and out. So when you go against a Larry Brown team, he puts pressure on the triangle and forces you to go deeper into offense. You have to rely on automatics. You have to know each other's tendencies to react to the other. We weren't ready to do that. There was just too much going on, and we weren't as sharp as the other teams that had been together forever. So Bowden, well, Kobe Bryant is saying that the reason why they beat the Sixers was because they were focused. The reason why they lost to Detroit is because they weren't focused. So you think Kobe Bryant just making excuses, or you think there's some truth to that?
I mean, you gotta understand, you were going through the rape charge, that's believable. That's believable. I mean, this one of the games he scored 84 points.
No. That was like 2 years later, 06.
06. I think with 06 he was trying to get his name back because he lost all his endorsements, right?
Yeah, but Kobe was saying the reason why they beat the Sixers in 2000 for the championship in 2001 was because they were focused. He said the reason why they lost to the Pistons in 04 is because as a team they just were not focused.
Let me tell you why they won the game in 2001. It wasn't so much that they were focused. It was the point that the referees was on their side. The 76ers should have won, but they lost.
Well, that and the fact that Mutombo couldn't do shit.
Mutombo couldn't do nothing with Shaq. I think that's why they made that 3-second rule, just because of that right there. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because Shaq was in the paint 20 minutes. You couldn't do nothing with Shaq, man. You couldn't do nothing with him, man. That's why they changed that stuff. That's why they don't. Shaq was on. That's why they changed the rules of that 3-second rule. You got to get up out the paint. Like, you can't just sit. Shaq, you just sit in there. Never move, just sat there. That's why Kobe used to talk to you. No, I'm not going to pass you. You got to work. But think about it. You don't never see a team surrounded by a center no more.
Now teams are now playing more the European style where it's all about small ball.
Yeah. But Phil Jackson, it don't take a genius to use a center like that. I mean, if you got a big man, 7 feet tall, 400.
Well, I mean, obviously it does take a genius because nobody used Shaq like that until Phil Jackson came around and they started winning.
Phil Jackson, a genius, put the man in the middle, let him just sit there. Kobe got he'll back him up. Whatever he don't get, Kobe gonna take up the slack. Whatever Kobe don't get, he gonna take up the slack. Then we got a 3-point specialist right here. It was a win-win. The Lakers ain't had no bid. They should have won all. They should have won. They should have won everything.
So they should have won 4. They should have won like 4 or 5 in a row. But instead, no.
That was a super team.
Yeah, but what killed them though was what killed them was that Shaq and Kobe beefing with each other. That's what really hurt them.
That's just ego. I mean, Shaq, yeah, but see, it's all about just ego. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kobe Bryant is an awesome basketball player. I put him up there next to Jordan. He is really awesome. He's awesome. But Shaq put in the work, and he deserves respect. Don't be disrespected. This man older than you, been to college and got a doctorate degree and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Omega Psi Phi free. All that stuff. Play movies, Shazam. You remember Shazam? What were they?
Kazam.
Blue Chip. You remember all that?
Yeah.
Like the truth. And that's in Orlando. That's when he was in Orlando. So I mean, you gotta give that man his respect. Kobe, you just coming up out of high school. You gotta earn your bones. Which he did. I mean, he played with Jordan. I mean, he played. I mean, Kobe. They the same. It's just ego. It's like two alpha males. Two alpha males can't be in the same room.
Yeah, somebody has to be the better.
Somebody had to be the beta. Somebody had to be the back seat. Not so much the back seat, but somebody got to play their position in order. If you're a team, you got to know who's your leader and who's. You can have 2 leaders, but at the same time, you had to learn to compromise with each other. And which they did, because that's why they won so many championships, but they could have won more if they got along. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah. But, Kobe an awesome basketball player, but yeah, Shaq, man. I mean, I think when he got with the team, Shaq was in the league for 14 years before he even got in there.
No, Kobe, Shaq, for 4 years. 4 years. Shaq got drafted in 92. Kobe got drafted in 96.
96.
But Shaq is about.
Shaq went to college and everything.
Yeah, but I was about to say because Shaq is about 7 years older than Kobe.
Yeah. like you said, maybe a little college for Kobe would have made him mature. You know, maybe he just can't. He got that high school mentality. I'm the best on the team.
Well, yeah, and that's what Luke Walton was saying, because Luke Walton was saying that Kobe's mentality was look, I'm the best on the team. Just give me the ball and I'll do everything. You just get the hell out of my way. No, Shaq on the other hand, he would actually talk to the players, joke with them, and Shaq be more like, I got your back. Like, look, yeah, I'm the leader, but you know what? Do your thing. And if somebody fuck with you, you know what? I'll knock them out for you.
And he knew how to let his hair down. He knew how. Cause, I mean, like I said, Shaq won't make us out fight. And you know how them dogs get down.
Yeah.
We went to Johnson C. Smith. We know how them dogs get down. They know how to party. Shaq know how to get loose. He know how to enjoy himself. He a people person. I don't think Kobe's so much of a people person.
No, listening to these guys, talk, whether it's Rick Fox, Luke Walton, all their teammates. From the impression I'm getting is Kobe, he just serious all the time. All the time, Kobe just serious. And sometimes, like you said, man, just let your hair down and just laugh. It's okay to crack a smile.
Yeah. No, I think I said on the other show, I don't know what Kobe's gonna do after basketball, man. I kind of, I don't know what he gonna do with himself. He need that same enthusiasm and that dedication he had to basketball. I mean, when that's all he know, he probably ain't gonna know what to do with himself. Thank God he didn't go to prison. You know what I'm saying? He would have really lost his mind.
Yeah, because they were trying to give him, I think he would have got at least 25 to life. Yeah.
But a good comparison that I wanted to ask you before we get deep in the conversation, comparing, and we might do this for another show. We could do this for another show. Comparing Kobe Bryant straight out of high school, LeBron James straight out of high school. That's who they need to compare to. Compare them two together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, even though
they always compare Kobe to Jordan. You can't really compare Kobe to Jordan because Jordan went to college. But you can compare LeBron James to Kobe Bryant.
Well, you can't really compare their games because Kobe's game is actually similar to Jordan because they're the same size and they play the same position. LeBron James is bigger than Kobe. And LeBron James plays a forward. But as far as them coming out of high school, I think what helped LeBron James out was the fact that he got drafted by his hometown team in Cleveland, which means he was around his mama and his family. Kobe Bryant, who grew up in Philly, got drafted by the Lakers, so he was all the way across the country by himself, and he pretty much had to grow up by himself. Yeah, while LeBron, he got drafted by his hometown team in Cleveland, so he didn't have to go nowhere. His mama's still there. His auntie, uncles, his girl that he was dating in high school still there. So he really didn't have to move. He just all he had to do was just move his mama out of the ghetto and just buy her a mansion. But he didn't have to go nowhere. So he was still surrounded by his family. And so he could pretty much grow up at his own pace. While Kobe being, having lived all the way across the country in LA, where he don't know nobody, and you got millions and millions of dollars, you pretty much have to force to grow up on your own.
Yeah, then also him being who he is, maybe, being serious and dedicated to his craft and doing what he's supposed to do kept him out of trouble. Because, young folk tend to mess up.
Well, I mean, they keep him out of that much trouble because, he got that rape charge.
Get rape charge, yeah. Yeah, it kind of make me think, because when I think of Kobe Bryant, I think of 96 when he first got in there. He was his humble beginnings. They talked so good on him. They put him on the pedestal just kind of like LeBron, but not as much because they kept comparing him to Jordan. I think Jordan was still playing. So
no, in 2004 Jordan had already retired, but at the same time,
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, 96. But it's also different because LeBron has always been the man on his team, always been that guy. For Kobe, he was always the sidekick. Shaq was that man. Shaq was the guy. He was the best player on the team. And that was where the ego thing comes in because Kobe always felt like he should be the best player. Like, I watched the documentary about Kobe, and Kobe even said in his documentary, he wanted to prove, I ain't nobody's sidekick. That's Kobe's mentality. I ain't nobody's sidekick. I could be just as good as Shaq. And that's what Luke Walton's point was when Luke Walton says that Kobe's mentality was like, look, just give me the ball get the hell out of my way, and I'm going to win the game for us. Instead of just playing together as a team. Because Kobe was so dead set on trying to prove that he ain't Shaq's sidekick. No, that Kobe, he don't want to be Robin. He want to be Batman. And he hates the fact that Shaq's Batman.
That was some good basketball back then, man. I swear.
Yeah.
Real good basketball.
All right, so back to Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups said, our game plan was very calculated. We knew we were going to play Shaq straight up. So there's no double teaming. And we knew there was no way we could stop Shaq straight up. But we knew we could stop Kobe straight up. So their game plan was like, look, we know we can't stop Shaq. Shaq too big. He going to dominate Ben Wallace. But we could stop Kobe. So he said, but if we're going to play Shaq straight up, the Lakers' eyes are going to get big, which means they're going to keep throwing it down there. And we're telling Ben Wallace, the whole time, take fouls when you need to, but don't get yourself into foul trouble. If you need to give up a layup, cool. We're going to get what we want on the other end, on the other side. What's going to happen is Mr. Bryant is going to get a little discouraged with getting no touches. And when the second half comes, now he's pressing. And he's going to start coming down and breaking the offense. And when you do that, we're done. We're playing right into our hands. And if you start making those shots, we're finished. So that was actually a smart strategy by Detroit. Because what they decided to do was like, look, we're going to play Shaq one-on-one. Knowing that we're going to play Shaq one-on-one, the Lakers are going to keep trying to give Shaq the ball. And what's going to happen is that's going to piss off Kobe, and Kobe's going to try to play hero ball and do everything by himself. And once Kobe starts doing that, we know we're going to win. And that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly why Detroit won. So Detroit had a great strategy. So they beat the Lakers psychologically because they already know how Kobe's going to act. Because they already knew Kobe was like, oh, hell no, you keep giving Shaq the ball. Well, F that, I'm going to win this game for us. I'm taking all the shots. That's why Shaq got mad when Shaq told Kobe passing the ball, and Kobe said, no, I ain't passing you shit. I'm going to win this game. All right, so Rick Fox said they jump on us in the first game. The second game, Kobe hits the game winner. And that was the worst thing that could have happened to us. Because it gave us a false sense that everything's going to be okay. Tayshaun Prince said, I kind of look at it as a blessing in disguise that we lost game 2. I say that because we flew home after game 2 and we flew home after game 2. We had a 4-hour flight from LA to Detroit, and we were so disappointed in ourselves at the entire flight, and we were on that plane devastated. I mean, you could hear a pin drop on that flight. That might have sealed their fate in the sense of, we ain't gonna let this happen again. Chauncey Billups said, I'm serious, man. We were so mad that Rip gave Kobe the space to score that shot to go into overtime in game 2. I'm telling you. We all felt we should have swept them. We were really mad that we didn't sweep them. Jeannie Buss, who is who's the daughter of the owner of the Lakers, she said you could just see it happen and slipping away. You knew that this team was coming to an end. It would have been nice to wait and not had it accelerated that they could have just played for, the championship with clear heads and clear minds. But the rumor mill was full speed. I think it was a huge distraction. Derek Fisher, who was pissed off the whole year that he lost his starting spot to Gary Payton, Derek Fisher said everyone had just grown numb to all the things that surrounded us. I mean, we're all kind of internalizing things, maybe being protective of our own selves. We weren't the type of close-knit and connected team that we needed to be to break through in the finals. in particular with the injuries, but also run into a team like Detroit that was more closely connected and bonded as a unit. Phil Jackson said, no, Chauncey was the MVP. We tried to put pressure on Chauncey. Then he would have fall down, go to the foul line. We couldn't even press him. Chauncey was using screen rules. We couldn't cover it. I tried to put Kobe on Hamilton, and then Chauncey was beating Gary Payton. He was too strong for Fish, and I tried everything but a zone. I put Kobe on Chauncey Billups, but then Kobe got into foul trouble. Chauncey just put him in foul situations. And so then Chauncey Billups said, who's the MVP of the finals, point guard Detroit Pistons. Chauncey Billups said there was a cynical little smile when I had when they put Kobe on me, because for one, he made the switch and he's coming to guard me, which means they're desperate. Two, there was nothing that Kobe could do defensively. No matter how good Kobe was on the ball, I'm about to call pick and roll up here. So you could hawk and reach and do everything you want to do, but you're not going to steal it from me. And two, I'm going to call the screens, and as soon as Ben Wallace finishes up with the screen, you're going to be behind the play, so it really doesn't matter because now I'm going one-on-one with whoever the big guy is. Kobe Bryant said they were more prepared than us. They were sharper than us. So it's not like the Celtics championship in 2008 where we had significantly less talent than the Celtics team. Even after losing that 20-point lead or something, I still felt like we had a chance to turn things around. That Detroit series, that wasn't the case. Those dudes were sharp. We had to go deeper into our offense, and we just weren't prepared to do it. Phil Jackson said, I saw it coming. Be a lame duck coach, having a group of kids that were at each other's throats for most of the year, having two guys like Gary and Carl who are brought in as ringers. Carl was out. Gary, it was a struggle for him to try and match up at the point guard for a long period of time. We were clearly overmatched in the finals. Derek Fisher said, you can have great players, you can have great coaching the way we did, you can have all the resources available to you, and you can actually make it all the way to the finals, but the best team will win that series every single time. Mitch Kupchak, the general manager of the Lakers, he said the thing that Detroit had going for them, they hit their stride in the playoffs. They had great chemistry, and they were playing their best basketball in the finals. They were ready to play another series after that series, and we weren't. We were beat up emotionally, and we had reached the end of our line. Back to Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss, like I said, is the daughter of Jerry Buss, who was the owner of the Lakers at the time. She said that Shaq's agreement had been grandfathered into that collective bargaining agreement, so he could have been paid more than anybody else. He wanted an extension that my father wasn't willing to agree to, and their disagreement was only about money and business. My dad didn't harbor bad feelings about Shaq. In fact, it was important that they repair their relationship before my dad passed away. It was a business decision, and there was always those kind of issues on the team. So that goes back to what I was talking about earlier about when Shaq got traded, because I said, Shaq talking all that crap to the owner could be the reason why, and now the daughter's saying that, Shaq wanted more money, her dad didn't want to give Shaq more money, and that pretty much ended that relationship right there.
With the Heat. Something the hell with the Heat. You won them a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shaq said Jerry Buss was good to me, and we had a great time. I just want to clear that now. There was never a personal disagreement, but when you're business people, everybody has business disagreement.
Yeah.
Back to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson said, I think Shaq knew what was going on. Shaq knew that his time was limited. Shaq knew it was his last stand. I knew I wasn't going to be back. Our conversation had broken down, and they had decided to go in another direction. And the die was cast, so to speak, in that situation. Phil Jackson's girlfriend, Jeannie Buss, she said because of all the speculation, Shaq demanded the trade and he got it. Phil was told on Father's Day that he wouldn't be coming back. It was just a disappointment not to come away with a championship and know that there wasn't going to be another chance for redemption and get it right the next time because the band was breaking up. Derek Fisher said you could feel the breakup coming. I mean, it had kind of been a slow crescendo, and now everything was about to change. Gary Payton, I still thought we were going to win the championship. I really thought we were going to come back. They could have just let us come back and play the way we were supposed to play, and let us all be there for a whole year. I don't know why they broke us up after we went to the championship and we had so much turmoil. I didn't really understand that, and that was my only disappointment. I was really mad about that because they gave up on us after we went to the championship. Then all the controversy came and people started saying that Kobe wanted to have his own team and he went to Dr. Buss and Dr. Buss chose a side and started trading us all. With me and Kobe, we were very close. I don't think he went in there and said, let's get rid of Shaq, let's get rid of Gary, let's get rid of Carl. I don't believe Kobe was behind it. I don't buy it. So Gary Payton doesn't believe the rumors when they say that Kobe's the one that demanded that the Lakers break up the team because Kobe wants to be all about him.
What you think about that?
Well, hold on. Let me see what Kobe had to say. Kobe said, I wasn't going to play with Shaq anymore. That just wasn't going to happen. The things he said, the criticism he said, that I can't win without him. Look, I put that individual shit aside to win a championship. And now I'm getting criticized for it. Now I'm going to show you fucks what I could do on my own. So that challenge, I was gonna answer that challenge. I was gonna answer that challenge no matter what. Whether I was gonna stay in LA, go somewhere else, I was gonna answer that challenge. I was gonna prove that I could win a championship without Shaq. So to answer your question, no, I don't believe Gary Payton. I think Kobe did want to break up the team.
Damn. I mean, Gary Payton was the kind of guy he gives into it. He about like me. Give people benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
I don't think he did no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's old school. You know what I'm saying? Because see, people Gary Payton age don't do shit like that. They man up. They do what they need to do. They ain't finna be all in the news and shit. Because you never really seen Gary Payton talking shit on the news. You know about
No.
Yeah, that's feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gary Payton ain't got shit to prove. He been in the game for so long, so it's like, in his mind, he feel like Kobe better than that. Kobe actually did this shit.
Yeah, Kobe. I wanna prove to them fucks. I want to prove to them fuckers that I could win without Shaq. No, so I ain't nobody's sidekick. There was no way in hell I'm playing with Shaq again. Fuck that.
Yeah. I took the word out of my mouth. I mean, what you think, man? Shit, Gary. I feel like Gary, though. I'm like, shit. I don't think he'll do no shit like that. I don't believe he'll do no shit like that. And then he got to grab the net and say, yeah, man, all you fuckers got to win this shit without these fuckers. You know what I mean? Mad niggers and shit. Oh,
yeah.
Crazy.
Kobe, I fuck that. Kobe, I don't win a championship by my goddamn self.
I'm Kobe motherfucking Bryant.
Yeah. I don't need John. I'm Kobe motherfucking Bryant.
I'm Kobe motherfucking Bryant. I'm greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah. I don't need John to win a championship. Y'all niggas.
Just the mic.
Yeah, just all the mic. Like y'all motherfuckers won a championship because of me, not because of y'all. Because of me.
David Ruffin of the NBA. You ungrateful sons of bitches. I made your ass. You can't leave me. You can't leave me.
I run this shit.
With that David Ruffin. The Lakers ain't shit with that Kobe Bryant. He said the hell with Magic Johnson and got that John Sally and Abdul-Jabbar. The hell with all of them. You know what I'm saying? He Kobe motherfucking Bryant. I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
On one plate.
I'm the one that put LA on the map.
Damn.
So if it wasn't for me, LA would just be another city.
You can take that shit to the bank.
Yeah.
I need to laugh.
All right, so John Black, the Lakers PR director. I've said this a million times to the media. When it ended, it was portrayed as extremely disappointing, and how could we let it happen? I mean, that Shaq and Kobe couldn't work things out. I looked at it differently. I did it. It did work out. They spent 8 years together. They didn't like each other. It was difficult, and things could have ended differently. And in 2 years or 3 years, it could have gone sour earlier. But despite the discomfort and disharmony and dislike, they stayed together for 8 years. They won 3 championships together. And people look back at the great run of harmony of Magic and Kareem had together. But it was the same amount of time Shaq and Kobe spent together. And I think it was pretty phenomenal that they won 3 championships and they didn't even like each other.
Only in America.
Yeah. So Shaq said that was probably the most talented team I've ever been on. You know, myself, I was playing with 3 Hall of Famers, Carl, GP. No, we all know Kobe's going to be a Hall of Famer. I like how he does that. Yeah, I play with Carl, GP, and y'all already know about Kobe, so it's whatever. And and you know, at times, man, when the ball was moving, it was hopping, and the fans were going crazy. Jack Nicholson was giving us high fives. It was sort of comparable to the early Lakers showtimes when they had all those Hall of Famers on that team. If I had one wish, I wish we could have gotten those guys a couple years earlier. Carl was older, GP was older. We wish we could have gotten them towards the end of their prime. And I think we would have won that series. And then if Carl doesn't get hurt, I'll probably still be a Laker to this day. So that's the end of the story of the 2004 LA Lakers. With all that drama, they somehow were able to get to the NBA Finals or to lose to Detroit Pistons because they didn't respect their opponent. And the Pistons actually played into the Lakers' hands, and so Chauncey Billups said it perfectly. Their game plan was we're going to play Shaq one-on-one. And if we play Shaq one-on-one, they knew that the Lakers were going to give the ball to Shaq every time. And once the Lakers start giving the ball to Shaq every time, Kobe's going to get pissed off. And Kobe's going to start, doing shit his own way and start jacking up shots, try to be the hero, because he does not want Shaq to get all the glory. Kobe wants all the glory. And when that happened, the Pistons end up winning. So everything the Pistons said Kobe was going to do, Kobe did it. It played right into the Pistons' hands, and the Pistons won the 2004 championship. And then Kobe broke up the team. So, Bowden, what's your thoughts on that 2004 Los Angeles Lakers?
Talented team, man. It was talented. Probably would have won more. They would have got along.
Yeah, I know reality TV wasn't all that popular back then, but that's one team that should have had their own reality TV show. All the drama was going on back then.
It was just like it. Was just like
You know what I'm saying?
it was the Hollywood of basketball. Yeah, Rick Fox was doing movies back then. Remember that?
Yeah, but even Rick Fox was talking shit. Talking about, well, who the hell is Karl Malone or Gary Payton coming to my team, coming to our team, trying to take my job? They ain't never won no championship. I got 3 championship rings. What the hell they won?
R.I.P. to our home, but he just passed away. He was a news commentator. He used to follow that all the time. I know you know what I'm talking about.
News come. Oh, by Stuart Scott.
Yeah. Stuart Scott used to do commentary on that all the time. He's on fire. Yeah.
No, because I remember that 2004 team. Because I remember, and I thought I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. But I thought the same way Tayshaun Prince did, and that was once they got Karl Malone and Gary Payton, I thought, okay, no, there must be some type of conspiracy. The Lakers gonna win the championship again. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose with Kobe, getting charged of rape.
Bad.
Yeah, Shaq threatening to murder Kobe, not whip his ass, but murder Kobe.
Take him on out of here.
Yeah.
Shit. He was the first NBA player to commit murder.
on his own teammates.
On his own teammates. That's bad. That's bad.
Even though I will admit, though, Kobe did come off as a bitch that year. Not only do you throw Shaq under the bus during your whole rape trial, talking about, well, no, Shaq would cheat on his wife, too. Which is a bitch move right there. But then instead of you being a man and just talking to Shaq face to face, you're going to go on TV and talk about how Shaq is fat and lazy, and how Shaq is a bad leader.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying, they played that much in practice with each other. Why would you go on national TV and badmouth your own teammates? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why Shaq slapped the hell out of Kobe.
Yep.
And yet somehow they're still able to win 3 championships.
Huh?
And I said somehow they were still able to win 3 championships.
Yep. Just imagine they got along, they would have won by probably still be winning the championship. Not to this day, but they probably went all the way up to about 2007.
Yeah, probably won at least 8. Yeah, because Shaq said, I think Kobe's playing too selfishly for us to win. And that Shaq didn't like the fact that, Kobe took a lot of bad shots just so he could be the hero. Just so he could be Batman. But yeah, man, that 2004 team, that was a lot of drama, and a lot of stuff I didn't even know about back then. And just reading that, it actually to me is an eye opener because I look at like when they played Detroit in the championship in 2004. That's like I said, considered the greatest one of the greatest upsets in basketball history because nobody gave Detroit a chance to win that championship. And now you got, guys like Rick Fox and Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant talking about how they didn't respect Detroit and how they thought Detroit was just some sorry ass team that just got lucky to even be there, and how they thought they just gonna steamroll Detroit, and Detroit came out and just whooped their ass. And you got the coach Phil Jackson talking about, yeah man, I saw this shit coming. I knew we was gonna lose Detroit because we wasn't serious. They don't understand how good Detroit was. And then Shaq, instead of Shaq being focused on basketball, he worried about money.
Worried about money.
Telling the owner, you gonna pay me.
You gonna pay me, yeah.
And the owner's like, well, I got something for your ass, and I'm sending your ass to Miami. You get paid over there. And then Kobe talking shit about, I'm gonna prove to you fuckers that I can win without y'all. So yeah, most of them, Yeah, those some tumultuous times, man, to be a Lakers fan.
2004.
Yeah.
I hated Lakers. I ain't gonna jive, but Kobe was nice, but they were winning too much. I was glad when the Pistons beat them.
Yeah, I was too. Cause I couldn't stand the Lakers back then. So yes, after the 2004 season, Shaq was traded to the Miami Heat in exchange for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, Brian Grant, and a first-round draft pick. And then Doc Rivers, who's now the coach of the Clippers, he said that Shaq and Kobe, their relationship is the biggest travesty in sports history because they should have won at least 5 championships. They couldn't get along. And then, of course, in 2008, when the Lakers lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals, Shaq wrote a song saying, Kobe, how's my ass taste? Because you can't win without me. All right, so that is it for today. That is it for today's episode. We will be back next week for our NBA Finals preview, as it'll be the Golden State Warriors taking on LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so you'll be hearing a lot more of this. You know, the Cleveland theme song.
I'm back, baby. I never learned. I'm just in the middle. I'm peace from It's me. I'm peace from every which angle. JR on your TV, relevant till June. So rise, LeBron, have you heard of him? Playing with Kyrie Irving and them. It's all love in the corner. 2 pass, splash, top performer. Who the heck even know Black? Catch me at the Q straight truck and best believe that. Call me the king's ransom, but still enigmatic, athletic, and handsome. Considered a liability. They told me I need a new scenery. Plush, Cuyahoga greenery. And finally, I've got something to believe in. Now that I'm in Cleveland, I'ma tell you what this means to me. The best player in the world is feeling me. To miss me, I'm not gone. I'm just ballin' with LeBron. So right, just can't be wrong. Everybody just needs a place where they belong. I'm sorry for Jackson.
So so we're gonna have a lot more of that. A lot more of that. We'll discuss, the NBA Finals. We'll discuss, we'll break down, give you our picks and predictions. Who we think we're gonna win? Will be will the Warriors win their first championship in 40 years? Will the Cavs win their first championship ever? Will LeBron get his 3rd ring? So we'll answer that and more next week. So make sure you tune in for that. And so in the meantime, make sure you actually before that, in the meantime, make sure you can follow us on Twitter at Expected Ant. That is INSP. Oh, Bowden's back. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at Expected Ant. And that is INSPECTAH_ Ant. You can also follow us on Tumblr at MadSexy. That's MADDSEXXY. And also be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can listen to us anytime, anywhere. On your phone, whatever. Even at your job. So just hit us up on iTunes. Subscribe to us on iTunes. You also listen to us on Specker. So we're all over the place. So Bowden, before we get up out of here, man, any last shout outs you have for today?
Shout out to the world. Shout out to the world.
Just to the world.
Yeah, everybody.
I'm gonna give a shout out to this kid in Sacramento. He's an 11-year-old boy from Sacramento. His name is Tenshiq. I think I'm saying that right. Tenshiq Abraham. And he's 11 years old.
Be the hero of your house when you save big on a wide selection of
commercial. He's 11 years old and already has a PhD at 11. So he graduated and got his PhD at 11 years old. So shouts out to Tenshiq Abraham. And at 11 years old, you're already a doctor. And you still have so much life to live. I don't know what the hell you're going to do with yourself at 11. You're not even old enough to work. But congratulations on you getting your PhD at 11 years old.
What did you get a PhD in?
That's a good question. Hold on.
It takes 11 years to get your PhD.
These are 11 years old.
You've been getting his lessons since he was 6.
Yeah, man, he got his degree from American River College in Sacramento. And he is the youngest person in the history to get a PhD at 11 years old. He already got his bachelor's and his master's. And now he just finished his PhD. He's only 11. I gotta admit, though, if I was a kid at that school and I'm in class and I see this 11-year-old getting better grades than me, I'm thinking, man, I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah.
My friend's husband out with another woman, basically. And she felt her, felt family,
So, yeah. So we'll be back next week. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. Like I said, you can follow us on Tumblr, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on iTunes. In the meantime, we are out.
Out.
I was for real.
Cassidy, the businessman. Yeah. Larceny family. Yeah. Tired of these phony motherfuckers. If you in the industry, you ain't my homie, motherfucker. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. Real niggas in the industry is lonely motherfuckers. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. You so phony. 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 Homie, you make me sick cause you as fake as it get. You so phony. Homie, I'm official. You a gimmick. You a snitch. Just admit it. You a bitch. Switch your image. Real rap. Real cats is hard to find in the business. I was taught to keep my mind on my business and mind my business. Cause you dudes fake. For that food on your plate, get your food in. delicious. You niggas soft like Martin Mama biscuits. I buck shots like BDB. My heater squeeze, I'm cool with the Tommy. If you try me, you could easily bleed. What came first, the weed plant or the seed of weed? Put a Magnum on when you smash a joint of your Easy E. Time ticking, you can't judge a book by its cover, but motherfuckers know my life story non-fiction. Your punchline's fiction, my punchline's sickening. I'm legendary, my parents rap, it's hereditary. The greatest line you could ever say I done said already. If I ain't the best, then whoever better is dead already. If you in the industry, you ain't my homie, motherfucker. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. Real niggas in the industry is lonely motherfuckers. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. You so phony, 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 you so phony. Homie, you make me sick cause you as fake as it get. You so phony. You gotta watch the dudes that move with you, cause your worst enemy a front like he cool with you. My only friend, my gat. Cause cats act like they your friend and stab you in the back. Now what type of friend is that? My friend a rat, I'm not defending that. I ain't into that. My friend a snitch, I'm ending a friendship. It's a riddles rap. When I rap, cats get intimidated. I renovated my flow so niggas could imitate it. I've been your favorite. I used to cut so much coke that I've been a razor. Now I got pulled like slot machines. You ever been to Vegas? The hustle up and hustling since the beginning stages. I went from Avis to Enterprise and go get the pies. Hit the road, come back to the kitchen stove and whip the pies. Break it down, bag it up, add it up, and then flip the pies. Forget the lies, coke the broke folk, it's like shit the flies. Don't let this business get you hypnotized. If you in the industry, you ain't my homie, motherfucker. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. Real niggas in the industry is lonely motherfuckers. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. You so phony, 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 you so phony. Homie, you make me sick cause you as fake as it get. You so phony. Homie, I just took a pay cut. When shit hit the fan, I hit my man that's moving weight up. To get my cake up, I take a bitch that got some A cups, then stuff her bra with the bricks. Now she got some bigger tits. That's the best way. TSA don't even frisk the bitch, cause now she got some double D's. Titties worth a couple keys. Loafers with the double G's. Jacket worth a couple G's. I hustle trees, cause I made a dub off a couple P's. Trust and believe, I'm in the mood for some new bitches. Dude, you sent the bitches, I got news, some new pictures. In this crew business, I ain't got no homies, cause niggas so fake, so phony. I'm so if you in the industry, you ain't my homie, motherfucker. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. Real niggas in the industry is lonely motherfuckers. Cause the industry is full of phony motherfuckers. You so phony, 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 you so phony. Homie, you make me sick cause you as fake as it get. You so phony. This whole industry full of phony motherfuckers. It ain't a lot of real niggas left. I'm like one of the last real niggas around, and you can hear it in my music. But all these fake ass niggas running around talking about the cribs they living in, not letting the streets know that they renting them motherfuckers. These niggas talking about these big cars they driving, not letting the streets know that they leasing them motherfuckers. These niggas blingin', but that shit is fake. Ain't none of them motherfucking diamonds real. And all these bitches running around here with these fake titties and fake asses and fake faces and fake hair and fake nails. These niggas faker than the motherfucker too. It's like you can't find no real motherfuckers in this world no more. For real.